Hi, my name's Kathy Millett, and this week we're looking at how to make creepers like these for a jungle tree. So in the not so real world of Halo, the jungles have creepers, and what I'm looking for is ones that go from the ground quite straight for a while and then wrap around the tree trunk, just because we've got this huge monolithic tree trunk and it would be great to make it look a little bit more interesting. Now, these are quite different to the vines and creepers in style that we did last week. So different techniques, some crossover. But before I started all that, I did go and look at pictures of the real world, because let's face it, the Halo jungle's quite dark and difficult to see things. So here's some pictures of the real world too. So I started off this week with a cold, hence the scarf, and I wasn't feeling particularly bright, but I ploughed on anyway and had a little play with how I wanted this different creeper to go. Now, last week we looked at twine and using things in multiple strands to create an effect of a distorted, twisted, warped tree almost. This time I wanted definite, distinctive creepers. So I took some really thick jute twine, the thickest I could find, and I got this in Hobbycraft in the plant decorating section, the flower arranging section. And I looked at it and had a bit of a test. I had to think about whether I wanted a bit of a wave, a bit of curl, whether I wanted it to be more straight, and eventually I decided to just dunk it all in glue and put it on there. I'm using Decorator's PVA because it's quite a thin white glue and it's also incredibly cheap. And this is messy. It's fun though. You just basically get loads of glue everywhere, all over your hands. I actually put a bit of water in it as well so that it wasn't too thick and gloopy. But, soaked the jute, hung it up, and job's a good one. One of the advantages of this method is the glue actually made the creeper go quite straight at the bottom. And I wanted a straight vertical rise because they've gone straight for the sunshine. So overall, it came out a lot better than I thought, despite my cold. However, my tree wasn't straight. So I had a few bits that weren't sticking, and these plants would stick to the bark. So I resorted to a bit of cling film wrapped wood just to hold it in against the hollow and keep it all working until it dried. I'm going to put one more going up, but these are a bit straight. They're just, and I didn't really like that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to untwine it, I hope, into its various constituent parts and wrap those around, but it can be solid at the bottom. So I'm going to put that down there and actually add a bit more on for going round. So that needs to be at that level, and then I want it to start twirling about there. So from there on, I'm just going to untwine all this. Right, time to get them all gluey. So I squished my jute twine around in Decorator's PVA, neat this time, so it wasn't going to run as much. And I put the straight bit at the bottom, and then the untwined bits I untwined again and wrapped them around individually, just tucking them in the top for safekeeping while I did the rest of the branches. I then rescued the bits I'd tucked in the top and wrapped them back round. So effectively the twine went up into the top and then back out again and joined on to existing bits of twine. The net effect is 4 trunks coming up from the bottom and then a number of branches going up and twining around the tree, which got rid of that straight up and down effect. There we go. Right, a bit happier with that. You can see it's got a bit more organic look to it. It hides the vertical that those were. So very happy. I wish I'd done that with those, but I didn't. So there we go. That's just going to sit there and dry up probably forever. So I've been thinking about ideas, and I think a little bit of water. What a surprise. A little bit of glue. What a surprise. Give all that a bit of a stir up. And I'm thinking I want some kind of tissue or cloth over it. And I found this out looking at Doll's House ways of doing it, and a lady done an amazing vine and she'd put tissue paper. Now, I thought about tissue paper, and I have got some, and I also just wondered whether I could use a couple of sheets of this, which is kitchen roll. We will see. It's got a little bit of a pattern on it, so we'll see what we're like. And what I was going to do was just try and wrap it around. So, as you can imagine, a little bit more gloopiness on here. So, another manky glue-covered something. Can't beat them really. So that rather blippy edge needs to go on first. I don't like the texture, the little bumps that you're getting on this tissue paper that came in the packaging of something. My only worry with this is that it's a bit, perhaps not as tough, but we'll see. So I'm just going to cut a strip. Oops. Can't quite remember mine up. It's definitely smoother than it was, which has got away from it. Looks like a bit of twine. Let's try another one. Now you cannot, with this, soak the tissue. It's just too fragile. So what you need to do is wrap the tissue around and just use the brush to apply the water and glue solution on. And then don't dab it too much or you'll tear it. If you can just soak it enough that it clings, it gets enough glue that when it sets up it'll be solid, and it can just hide that hairy twine feel and make it feel more like it's a plant. As I got further up the tree and the actual lengths of creeper was shorter, I found it much easier just to use small oblongs of tissue and just wrap them around. And always make sure your seam is at the back so it doesn't show. So jungle creepers, finally, the tree's done. See, the tissue's gone on. It's still drying in a couple of places, but it's all there, and I'm pleased how it's come out. I think the trick will be now is when I paint it and see what it looks like when it's done. Yeah, we don't mention the shower incident. It was very traumatic. Kathy, N-scale Kathy, I think she's blanked it from her memory. She doesn't even know what you talk about. If you mention the shower to her, she just looks blank. But her and mil-scale Kathy, I mean, they race across the bath mat now because it's a bit safer. But they used to race across the shower. And even for mil-scale, you know, one of those bits of shower hits you and you're a goner. You know, they're big. Well, one hit N-scale Kathy. It was horrendous. She got knocked off her feet. I mean, this thing's 100 times the size of her. Knocked off her feet, swept down the plug hole. The last we saw of her, her little fingertips on the edge. And they're not very big, are they? Let's face it. They are little fingertips. She was holding on to the plug hole. And then it was gone. We were traumatised. It took us 3 hours to get out there to find her. And we got out there. And thank goodness the guttering's broken is all I can say. Because she'd come out with the soap suds and was in the middle of the patio, covered in soap suds, oblivious to the world really. I think she was just lying there. She no idea how she got there. She didn't remember going down the plug hole, down the pipe, down everywhere. She just didn't remember any of that. She just remembered waking up on the patio. I think she thought she'd fallen out the window. And to be honest, mil-scale Kathy was going to jump out the window after her or go down the plug hole after her because she felt so guilty. She was beside herself. Yeah, she really was. She felt really guilty. I mean, you wouldn't catch me going in a shower. No, not going in the shower. Not that stupid. But anyway, yeah, it was traumatic. It's awful. Just We don't mention the shower to N-scale Kathy now. Never. Here we go. Shower. Have you ever considered what it's like to be in a shower when you are this big? This is what it's like. There we go. That's what it's like. I don't like going in the shower now. It just brings bad memories back. I used to love racing, and I'd race from this end to that end, but ever since that incident with N-scale Kathy, and I felt so guilty. I mean, I thought she was dead. She disappeared down the plug hole. Yeah, so yeah, we tend to avoid the shower, but it's fine. I mean, when it's all gone, there's plenty of water left, so we can wash. It's not like we're dirty, smangy, little manky things that are sort of smelly. No, we'd like to keep clean. We are women. We have to wash our hair. There's always plenty of conditioner around and stuff, so it's fine. We keep ourselves looking good. So we know we're starring in this series, and it's important to keep our looks looking good. Yeah, good. Glad we sorted that out. But I'm not going in the shower. No, not in the shower again. What shower incident? I don't remember a shower incident. No, I'm sure I do remember a shower.